I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's game. It has to be said. I think it's a sense of occasion, quite possibly. Not just the fact that we may well qualify for Europe, but, well, we all qualify for Europe, but, you know, look, one's Mickey Mouse, one's decent. So, also, when Gio mentioned, sorry, I digress, when Gio mentioned that we automatically qualify for the group stage, well, that is significant, because that is guaranteed money, whereas the Mickey Mouse Conference is not no guarantee of anything. As I said, I don't think they have a TV deal, so I don't think they can guarantee what money they're getting from it. So to know that you're at least in the group stage guarantees you some gate receipts, guarantees you, I think it's 3 million just for getting in there, $500,000 for a win, another, anyway, lots incrementally. There's money that amounts to a few million. Makes it a worthwhile venture, right? But it's not just that. I think I'm looking forward to the sense of occasion. There's something about the last game of the season, and the fans being there makes it all the better. Even though I'm not going to be there myself, there's something really good about the last home game of the season, unless you get relegated. But obviously that wasn't going to happen this time. So even though I'm not there, I'm really pleased the fans are going, and I'm just sort of looking forward to it. I'm actually looking forward to the closed season as well, because we've not had a proper one because of COVID and whatnot. And you've got the European Championships, which we are going to cover on Hammers Chat. We're going to be doing an awful lot of that as well. England-Scotland is, of course, going to be a really good one with myself and Gio. I think we are going to do a watch-along for that. Maybe, now we're allowed to travel around, maybe Gio comes here to the man cave and we do a watch-along, because there's a telly there, basically. We might do that. That might not be a bad idea. Anyway, on to the subject at hand is Jesse Lingard. I want to explore a few things, because he has made some comments, which I'll read to you in a second, about going away and taking memories with him, which indicate that he's leaving. Now, this may well be a ploy. I think Lingard is a smart guy. So I think he is, and obviously smart people choose their words carefully, so I think he'd be very, very aware of what he said, particularly the fact that he said it twice and on the official site. So, I don't know. It may well be a ploy. Just a little shot across the bows to say, you need to sign me, or I don't know. I don't know. There might be something in it. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. However, what I want to explore is how much we need Jesse Lingard to stay. Declan Rice has spoken about it. And also, would it be the end of the world if we didn't sign Jesse Lingard? And what I want to do is I want to put something into a bit of perspective, because I'm as big a culprit as anyone. When I've done a couple of videos saying Jesse Lingard is one of the best players in the league, which at the time he was. I mean, you do not, as an attacking midfielder, have that sort of goal-scoring run, and you could not to be considered as one. His output was up there with De Bruyne and Fernandes, and probably even a little better, and that's in a team, if we're all honest with ourselves, which is not as good as Man City's or Manchester United's. So I think what he's done is quite phenomenal. But I don't mean it's easy to forget that. Do I think Jesse Lingard is the best player in the league? No, I don't. But clearly he is capable of reaching such performances. We now get to now, and if you just, I like the assist. I like the assist in the last game. But if you forget that linking up with Antonio, he'd probably had a dip in form for 4 games, something like that. And there were a few people maybe suggesting actually it doesn't matter if we don't sign Jesse Lingard. And I don't think he's rubbish either. I think that the truth is probably somewhere in between. I think he's just a really, really good player. And I think if you can get Jesse Lingard for, I don't know, 20 odd million, 15 million, 20 million, 100 grand a week, then it's a good deal. It's a no-brainer for a club like West Ham, certainly. But his profile has risen so high that other clubs undoubtedly are going to be interested now. But I do think it's worth exploring both aspects. So before we talk about keeping him, let's just imagine he does leave. Is it the end of the world for West Ham if Jesse Lingard leaves? No. Because we were 4th when he arrived. We were doing really, really well. I think he was the, I wouldn't say the cherry on the cake, the icing. He was a lot more of the cake than the cherry. Some people don't even have cherries on cakes. Some people don't have icing. Who has a plain cake? Anyway, forget the cake. But he was an important ingredient. Still cake, technically. But we were doing okay, and I think he coincided, particularly with Antonio being out. Now, what's to say, and I know this is an if, had Antonio stayed fit and we're not signed Lingard, we might have still been roughly where we were. I would imagine we possibly would be. So what does that mean for our team next season? If we didn't have Lingard, would we still be able to improve? Well, I think the fact of the matter is, even if we sign Lingard, we stay exactly where we are. It's actually the signing of a striker which makes us better and makes us improve, because then you have that guy playing on the times when Mikel Antonio isn't fit. And undoubtedly, sorry, there is a massive bumblebee, that big, right there. He's trying to get him, banging on the glass. A rowdy bumblebee. Looks angry. It's snarling at me. Anyway, to Jesse Lingard, what am I talking about? I want to do that. When I start talking about bumblebees, honestly, I'm losing my mind. Hold on. I need to try and remember what I was talking about. That's it. The striker comes in and makes us even better. Oh, God. Anyway, so the striker comes in, makes us better. And I think Jesse Lingard playing alongside a striker, that is an improvement in the squad. I think a bit of cover in central midfield. We know this. We've gone over this numerous times. However, that doesn't mean that I want Jesse Lingard to leave. But I just don't feel it would be the end of the world. I think there's a number of things that could happen. I think Benrahma steps up. There was a period when Benrahma was sort of playing in the hole just before, if you pardon the expression, just before Lingard came in. And I think, was it the Crystal Palace game possibly? I thought he was man of the match in that. There have been other games when he's looked okay, but I think it might well have been a bit of an education for him. And should we not sign Lingard, you might well present an opportunity to Benrahma to play that position. And I think he could play it well. I really do. I think he's actually, if you look at him in the last game, he was pretty confident. And I think that's a sort of bit of a feather in his cap, really, to be confident when it would maybe appear the manager hasn't got the greatest amount of faith in you. You've got to have a strong character to still go out there and try the long shot, and to try assists and try the trick. And I think he's certainly got that. I think the other, who is it? Bendia from Norwich been linked with us, and of course Pereira at West Brom. Now, he's played really well against us twice, and he's played well against us twice because he's an excellent player. Given the choice, I would still sign Lingard, because I think you know what you're getting with him. I think there's not a settling in period. All that other stuff, you just don't have to deal with that. I don't know how good Pereira's English is or whatever, but you don't have to worry about any of that sort of stuff with Lingard. He knows West Ham. He just rocks up for pre-season training, uses the same locker at the training ground, whatever. It's easy done. But I wouldn't be disappointed if we got someone like Pereira. I mean, you can imagine what havoc we would cause if he was taking the corners half the time. They literally wouldn't know what was happening in the opposition. So, and I think he's a really, really good player. Whether Moyes likes him or would be interested in signing him, I just don't know. But I only talk about that because those are two guys that are mentioned. But I'm just saying, I don't think it's the end of the world if we don't sign Jesse Lingard. But the reasons for signing for Jesse Lingard are multiple. And Declan Rice was on Harry Redknapp's television programme, or I can't remember what it's bloody called, to be honest with you. But Declan Rice is saying we must sign him. He really wants to sign Jesse Lingard. You hear David Moyes speak about him, you hear everybody talk about him. He is a really important part of the dressing room culture. But I don't think we lose that dressing room culture just because Jesse Lingard doesn't sign. I was really interested to listen to the Talk Sport this morning. There was an interview with David Moyes on there, and he was being a bit silly. He was talking about the banter. He was talking about how Stuart Pearce winds him up and he winds Stuart Pearce up. They've got an England-Scotland thing going on about how everyone teases Stuart Pearce over his taste in music and these games that they play on the coach to and from games and stuff like that. And you really start to realise what a great team spirit they have. So whilst I think Jesse Lingard is an important person to have around and in the dressing room and so on and so forth, and he certainly adds to that, I don't think just losing Jesse Lingard, that it all dissipates. No, far from it. I mean, if you look back to Robert Snodgrass had that reputation, didn't he, of being, and he was a good guy, big character, funny guy. It didn't suddenly crumble just because we lost Robert Snodgrass. No, it's interesting that I don't know what's the word. But all the players are contributing to that, because Moyes was talking about Declan Rice, he was talking about Mikel Antonio, he was talking about Kevin Nolan, he was talking about Mark Noble. All these people go towards adding to this sort of atmosphere and this camaraderie that the club have at the moment. That being said, I do want to sign Lingard. I think we should. I think there's a certain amount of game playing going on. I'll read you the quotes. He said, I was already ready to play for many months. So to play the first game against Villa seems like a lifetime ago now that we're near the end of the season. But it's been a brilliant experience. It's been. Okay, so we're talking past tense here. It's past tense here. I'll take away so many memories. I'll take away. It's been great. I've met a lot of people, made countless number of friends. So to take on this challenge has been amazing. And to take away, there we go again, the memories will be special. So he's talking about Bean, he's talking about taking away memories. He says it twice. Look, you can, look, 2 and 2 don't always make 4, but, well, they do. They do. What do you mean 2 and 2 don't always make 4? I mean, you can add 2 and 2 together and come up with 5 sometimes, which is clearly what I've done. I've not been drinking today. I feel like I did last night, though. The truth be known, I did have a drink last night. I think it's fried my brain. Actually, tomorrow for the game, my mate Nick's coming over, which is really, really good because obviously we can't make it there. So he's coming over. He's bringing some grub. Bringing his daughter over, bringing some grub, which will be very, very nice. So hopefully we'll enjoy a good game then. Just quickly, before I go, sorry, a bit of a mishmash of a video. Where is it? Okay, Chelsea swap deal for Declan. It suggests Tammy Abraham and Ross Barkley. I mean, forget it. You know, if we really do value, okay, let me tell you here. If Ross Barkley is wanted, it suggests we're not going to get Lingard. Well, obviously that's not ideal, is it? So that ain't great. I like Ross Barkley. I think he's a good player. I think he would fit in at West Ham. I do think it's quite telling that the first Everton player David Moyes bought when he went to Man United, though, wasn't Ross Barkley. He didn't even try to buy Ross Barkley, and he could have afforded to. He went and bought Fellaini. And then his attacking midfielder, he didn't even try for Ross Barkley. He went and bought Juan Mata. But Tammy Abraham, Ross Barkley, if we value Rice at 100 million, I know we won't get 100 million for him, not in the current climate. And I don't want to sell Declan Rice. I hope, and I think the club don't want to sell Declan Rice. But Tammy Abraham ain't worth 50 million. Ross Barkley ain't worth 50 million. I think they'd have to offer those two probably plus 50 million and then maybe. But I still don't think David Moyes would do the deal, because you heard the way David Moyes was talking about Rice when he was out. In fact, when we had all of those players out for that little period where our form dipped and we probably lost the momentum for the Champions League, David Moyes was singling out the reason that happened. It was Declan Rice. He could have gone with Cresswell, could have gone with Antonio, Ogbonna. No, he kept saying Declan Rice, Declan Rice. Look, he's in the final stages of negotiation for his new contract, Moyes, and I bet one of the stipulations is not only who he can bring in, I bet he's saying, because he's got all the strength, he's got all the power now, Moyes, he would walk into another job in the Premier League, no problem at all. And the owners will know that as well. So he will specify how much money he's got, but one of the specifications will be, I'm not losing Declan Rice. We keep him. You reject all bids for Declan Rice. Guarantee, it's been said. I do wonder, actually, about Declan when he says that he doesn't want Jesse Lingard to leave. I've obviously never been a football player, but I do wonder if they ask each other. Do you know what I mean? I do wonder if they say, does Declan ever say, or not even Declan, any one of the players say, Jesse, you going to stay or not? I would. I don't know. Maybe there's an etiquette around football that you don't ask that sort of thing, and because everyone's got their own agents and stuff like that. I think if I was working with someone every day and you know, we'd become mates, you would, wouldn't you? I don't know. It is an interesting one. Anyway, that's that. I think I'm safe. I can escape now without being attacked. They don't attack. This one does. Machetes, everything. Usually they sting. This is a rowdy one. They breed them big round here, the bumblebee. I think that bumblebee has probably mated actually with a tiger, because they're both, they're stripy and yellow and black. I'm going. Tiger's more orange, really. I am going to go now. I do apologise for the state of this video. I'm going to upload it anyway.